The views expressed by the host on this program documented to be almost always right 99.8% of the time. Telephone number if you want to be with us, 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushbo@eibnet.us. Before we delve deep here into this youth voter versus elderly voter differences of Trump thing, there's a lot of stuff here, folks, that I'm going to set aside to do this. But I kind of cooked my own goose when I alluded to it as something upcoming. People want to delve into it now, so we will. Are you aware of the latest attempt of the drive-bys to portray Donald Trump as vacant, stupid, dumb, and empty-minded because his desk doesn't have anything on it? Don't switch yet. Just get ready in there for the switcher, but don't switch it yet. Now, this is the second time they've done this. I forget how long ago it was, but the drive-bys ran a story with a photo of Trump's very cluttered desk. And the stories that accompanied that photo said, and these were emotional psychiatric experts and behavioral experts telling the drive-bys that a cluttered desk is a disorganized, cluttered mind, and this is a danger. To have somebody that appears this haphazard and this disorganized, not knowing where anything is, and the mess just getting bigger and bigger, it is a perfect metaphor for Donald Trump's brain in general, and we are all in grave danger and posed a grave threat by Trump's obviously overtaxed mind. Now, that was some weeks, maybe months ago. Yesterday, the drive-bys published a story of Trump sitting at the Oval Office desk wearing a Make America Great cap and a white polo golf shirt. And there's nothing on the desk. And the stories accompanying this picture say that Trump is dangerously empty, his mind is vacant, and he obviously doesn't do any work. There isn't anything on his desk. The guy's a putz. The guy doesn't know what he's doing, and the evidence is there isn't anything to do because he has no work on his desk whatsoever. We are in grave danger. So I told Cookie, I want you to go out there and find me, because there are many of them, I want you to find me a photo of Ronaldus Magnus at his desk. And we found many. We're going to switch to it. If you're watching on the Ditto Cam, you'll see it because we're going to switch to it. There is Ronaldus Magnus right there at his Oval Office desk. And as you can see, the only thing on it is a phone. That's how Reagan's desk looked practically all of the time. There were occasional photos where Reagan had documents, individual pieces of paper on the desk that he was reading or signing. But that's pretty much what it was because, folks, the Oval Office is ceremonial. The work that gets done in the Oval Office occurs on the sofas. If you're looking at the picture, the sofas are parallel to each other with a coffee table between them. But really not much work gets done in the Oval. Do you know that if you this is not enough for the public tours of the White House, but if I happen to go to the White House and the president wasn't there, the Oval Office is wide open. They take you in there, they'll show you anything because nothing's in there. It's ceremonial. Now, I mean, it's not part of the public White House tour. I don't think it is. I don't think the West Wing is part of the tour. But the work that happens in the West Wing happens in a cabinet room or the Roosevelt room or on the phone. But it's not a traditional office in the sense. Even bill signings, some occur there, but not many. They occur in the Rose Garden or a room big enough to get all the congressional co-sponsors in there to participate in the photo op. There are also pictures of the great one, Barack Hussein Obama, with his desk totally empty. I didn't bother putting any of those up because who wants to look anymore at Obama in the Oval Office? I mean, you talk about shock therapy. We don't need that. But don't doubt me. the idea of a desk, but, well, it's rendered moot anyway because the drive-bys have gone at this in both angles. Trump, at one point when he was first there, had a lot of stuff on the desk, and they said, this is a cluttered, disorganized mind. We're in grave danger. Now they're running a photo with nothing on the desk. We are in grave danger. Trump doesn't even know what to do. He's so stupid there isn't any work on his desk. It may mean that his aides don't trust him to do anything. It may mean that Trump isn't doing any work whatsoever, which wouldn't surprise us because we know he's a blithering idiot. That's the news accompanying the photo today by the drive-by meet. I'm not kidding. Okay, you can switch back to me now. Oh, they just did. But we could show you pictures of Obama's desk and George W. Bush. Even right now, Fox is running an interview or a tape of people in the Oval Office. There's a fireplace in there, and whenever Trump has an official guest, they sit on either side of the fireplace. The media comes in, they ask stupid questions. Trump gives them the answer, and they get kicked out of there, and then they sit around and talk. Usually sitting on the sofas, but in terms of it being an office like you and I would have and go sit down and do work, not much of that happens because the work of the president occurs many levels, many ways, in many, many different places. In fact, presidents never stop working, no matter where they are. Just like important radio talk show hosts, no matter where we go, we're working. Most everybody who works is working wherever they go, in their mind. So it's just another cheap attempt, an obviously flailing away at nothing attempt. Well, I was going to say that, but, I decided to keep this out of the blue dress arena when I talked about the work that goes on the sofas. Actually, I haven't heard of Clinton using his sofas that way. In fact, put that picture back up. The door that you see there to the left of the desk, if you open that door, you go to the private dining room, which Obama had turned into a room for his buddies to come in and watch NCAA and NBA basketball. I saw it. Off of that dining room is another little smaller private study and the private restroom. And that's where Monica and the cigar were found. On the other side of that door. I was in the Oval Office 2 weeks after George W. Bush was inaugurated in 2001. I was in there with a bunch of Major League Baseball players and their wives. Joe Torre was there with Tom Glavine, the late, great Don Baylor. A bunch of great baseball players. Bush was a huge baseball fan. And everybody there was it was just 2 weeks prior that Bill Clinton was in there, and it was just a few early years from that room. Everybody was interested in that room because what went on in there between Clinton and Lewinsky. And everybody was just kind of, I hate having to think that that's what happened. I'm in the Oval Office of the President of the United States, and what am I thinking of? Cigars, blue dresses, and interns. You couldn't help it. 2 weeks prior, Clinton or whatever else he was doing was in there. And you realize Hillary had been waddling in and out of there. Presidents changed the desk. I think Trump is using Reagan's desk, if I'm not mistaken. They changed the carpet that's down the floor between the two sofas. But, yeah, right through that door and it's a decent-sized private dining room. You could probably seat 8 or more, maybe 12 at the table. But it was used as an NBA theater, NCAA college basketball theater for Obama. All right, thanks. Switch it back to me now. This is why people tune in for the Ditto Cam.